He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gadget Professor. My name is Don Bain, and I am, of course, the Gadget Professor. Welcome, everybody. I'm just looking. We're at episode 103. Looks like next episode will be 2 years. So, wow, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you are new to tuning into the Gadget Professor, thank you so much for joining us. We come up with a new episode every Thursday evening, Arizona time, usually late Arizona time, but if you subscribe to the show, and that would be going to thegadgetprofessor.com, and there's a brown box there. If you hit subscribe, it will automatically put the Gadget Professor in your off your iTunes, your iPod, your iPad, the Zune, audio, video, anything that has a glass surface, you'll get the Gadget Professor. And also, while you're on the page, please make sure that you subscribe to the show notes. And the reason you want the show notes is that immediately after every episode, I send out an email with the show notes and everything that we've discussed. All the URLs are all hot links, so you just click it and you can get to the item or items that you're interested in. If you are old to the Gadget Professor and have been watching me for 2 years, I don't know how you do it, but thank you very much. Of course, you could email me at any point in time at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. That would be thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page. I'd love you to look at that. We're still playing with getting that the way we'd like it. But that said, you can follow me on Twitter, and that would be @GadgetProfessor. And I tweet all day long, all the new latest gadgets. And if you're really into gadgets and really want to see what's new in the industry and what's leading edge, like what came out today, I would recommend that you go to Rebel Mouse and Rebel Mouse/Gadget Professor. It will be in the show notes. And this page that we have on Rebel Mouse really just gives you a beautiful graphic interface of everything that's new, so you can see a pictorial. And this changes every 15, every 10 minutes constantly. So not only do you have pictures, you have links to the articles, and I just cover every kind of technology, particularly high tech that's out there, and there's some really cool stuff on this Rebel Mouse page. And essentially all you do is just follow me. There's a follow me button on the show notes, and you can sign up for Rebel Mouse. It's totally free, and just follow the Gadget Professor. And I really think you'll enjoy this more than Facebook. I really do, but that's up to you. I have an interesting episode. I have 2 gadgets. One I'll tell you the interesting story about, and 2 I'm going to show you right now. If we go to camera 2, you will see our gadgets of the day, and we got a lot of stuff here. So this is gadget number 1, and this is gadget number 2, and I'm going to go back to camera 1 and show you what gadget 1 is. This was a present from a very dear friend of mine, and it couldn't have been more appropriate for the Gadget Professor. Here it is, and we'll get a close-up of this on camera 2. This is it. As you can see, it's a beautiful brand new lens for your camera, but actually, in reality, what it is it's a mug. So that opens up, you put whatever you want to drink in there, water, whatever, and put the cap back on, and it's a great little gadget, very appropriate for me. It will fit in the car. It's steel inside, or high-grade aluminum. Very cute gadget. Looks just like a lens. I mean, just like a lens. Comes in a box, and if you're interested in that, you can go to this site here, m189.com, and it's $11.98. Very cool item, fun thing to have, and thank you very much for doing this. Glenn and Terry, thank you. I appreciate it, and I will use it. So let's run into some really cool information that I came across. Okay, I'm not going to run this whole video for you, but this is something you really want to check out. It's a car that runs on air. It's on YouTube. It's actually a Bloomberg release, and I'll put this in the show notes. You have to watch this. It's Israeli technology. It blows my mind. I've watched it twice. It actually is in existence. It's not something that they're in process of building, but talk about a gadget, something that could revolutionize the world. This is really cool. The thing I don't understand is how come it's not out there. This was published March 22nd, 2013. Not that long ago, but you think it would be in every newspaper and the headline on every newscast, and I never even heard of this. One of the Gadget Professor fans emailed this to me, and it's really cool. So you definitely want to check that out. It will be in the show notes. And really, if you go on YouTube and just put a car that runs on air/water, here's how it works. You'll actually see it. And as I said, it's in existence. It works. It's up and running. Amazing. Now we're going to go to the software of the day, and I have a couple cool things for you. I am frequently more and more misplacing my Droid. I won't say losing it, but I'll be in my house. I'll just have my cell phone in my hand, and then I don't know where it ended up. So if you download this free app, Where's My Droid, you can lose it, track it, and find it, and it works real well. I have it on my cell phone. I used it twice this week, I'm embarrassed to say, but I found my phone both times, and once it was in my pocket. So maybe the Gadget Professor is going senile, or maybe the Gadget Professor is senile. Maybe it's a combination. I don't know. Moving right along, you can also find your iPhone, because they have a similar software that you can download off the iTunes store, and it's called Find My iPhone, and it will do the same thing. So I'll have that in the show notes also. Another cool piece of software that I came across, and I actually tried using it, it's pretty interesting, and it's pronounced Onova. Onova. So that is on the Play Store, and Onova essentially extends the value of your existing data plan. If you have installed a custom ROM, please read the instructions on how to install the app, blah, 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 blah. But essentially it will tell you how much data you're using, and it goes into a whole explanation as to how it works. But needless to say, it does work, and it's got 5-star rating, free. So you'll want to check this out. It's ONAVO. Again, that will be in the show notes. Moving right along, I'm still bummed out about the Boston Marathon and all the fallout of that, and it gets more sickening as the days go by. I'm not going to start to rant and rave about that, but I could, and I'm so aggravated by it. One of these days, maybe I will, but I try to keep this show family friendly and easygoing, so I don't want to get my political views involved, so I won't. But needless to say, this app is something that I think everybody should have, and I know you're not going to use it. I hope you don't use it on a daily basis, but you know, if you need it, you have it. And this is an emergency medical locator, so that wherever you are, this actually, when you activate it, it will go out in the GPS and it will find out what medical facilities are in your general area. And I got to tell you, you just never know when you're going to need this. I had some friends of mine that were here in Arizona. They went to Washington, D.C. to visit their son for a week, and the third day they were there, his wife got really sick, didn't know what was wrong, and had to find a hospital, which wasn't that hard in Washington, D.C., but this app would have helped a lot to specify who does what. So I would download it. And while we're on the subject of disasters, this is something, again, I really believe you should download. It's free. All these are free. And it's stuff that you just don't want to think about, but when an emergency happens, you wish you would have had this or at least read this. This is called the Disaster Readiness Guide. This is totally free, and essentially it gives you an emergency checklist, emergency planning, shelter, where to take shelter, evacuations, terrorism strikes, terrorism alerts, fire prevention, all the stuff that you really need to know about given the society that we're living in. These apps are free, and I would beg you to at least, download them and look at them and familiarize yourself with the information, because it may save your life or the lives of your loved ones. So check that, download the Disaster Readiness Guide. Another piece of software that we'll talk about before we get into the gadget of the day is just a fun app. It's called Pier 1 Hosting. And essentially what this does is it shows you the internet usage in lights, if you will, all across the globe. And I don't know how well you can see these photos. Again, this will be in the show notes. But it really is cool. It shows you where the traffic is by essentially lighting up the globe. And it's fascinating to watch. And I watched it for a couple minutes. It's almost hypnotizing, but it's a very cool app, and I think you'll enjoy it. And now we are going to go into the gadget of the day and my story of the gadget of the day. The gadget of the day, if we go to camera 2, is called NetTALK. And this is the actual device right here. This is the device, and you have a couple wires out of it. This is the box that it comes in. And inside the box, you're going to get this device, this little half the size of a cigarette pack device, very light. You're going to get a couple cords, we'll show you that. You're going to get a little Ethernet cable, and you're going to get a little power pack to charge this little sucker up if you desire to. And also you're going to get an instruction sheet, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Now what this is it's a phone that essentially is plugged in the back. There's two jacks here. I know you can't see them, but one is for the phone and one is for the Ethernet. And on the other side, there's a small USB port, and this goes back either to the charger or right now it's plugged directly in my computer. Now this device will allow you to make telephone calls wirelessly. This is also a wireless network adapter, if you will. It's called NetTALK Duo. So this will work directly plugged into your computer, your router, or it will work wirelessly. And this particular device, we'll go back to the main camera, is available for $49.95. I actually bought this on sale for 29 bucks. And what happens is for the, let's just say it's 49. If you Google and search around, you'll find these things are on sale for about 30 bucks. But let's just say it's 50 bucks. For the 50 bucks, you get the entire year service free and the device. So that means you can make local calls and calls to Canada as long as you want, receive calls, send calls for that total 50 bucks. Each year to renew, it's 30 bucks. So 30 bucks for the whole year after the first year is a pretty good deal. As I said, I bought this on sale for 29 bucks. Now the Duo is wireless, and let me tell you the features that come with this. New unlimited SMS text plan. That's a good deal right there. New feature, call blocking. That's fantastic. That means if you have someone calling you and you don't want to take their call or you don't want them calling you, you put their number in, and as soon as it sees it, bam, it blocks it. So if any of my Gadget Professor fans have companies calling them, collection companies, collection agencies that are looking for money and you don't want to take their call, you just block their number and they won't be able to call you. Don't you love the Gadget Professor show? Next, we have 1 year service included, 30-day money-back guarantee. You can choose your phone number, which I did, or you can keep your existing phone number. So the first thing you do is choose a phone number, which I did, and at some point in time, when I have some more time, I will actually port one of my other phone numbers to this device. So that's a cool thing. There's no charge for doing that. You also have free local long-distance calling to the United States and Canada. This is very unusual. Live tech support 5 days a week, but they are on the East Coast, and if it's 2 o'clock in Arizona, because we're 3 hours behind, they are already closed. So at least you have the opportunity to call them 5 days a week on Eastern Standard Time. They have a flat rate and an ultra low cost if you want to make international calls. They do have plans which cost pennies a minute. That's a great thing. Free duo-to-duo calls anywhere in the world. That means anybody who has this device, wherever they are in the world, as long as they have this device, you can talk to them for free. Fantastic deal, especially if you have a loved one overseas. You get them the Duo, and even at 49 bucks, you can talk as long as you want. Great deal. Let's see here. Plugs directly into your router or your computer. The landline goes anywhere there's internet. 411 assistance, you have to register for that. It's free. Here's a great feature. Call waiting, caller ID, call forwarding, three-way calling, conference calling, visual voicemail, extended 911, and it's fax friendly. That's a lot of features. Now, I know some of you are asking, well, how's it compare to the Magic Jack or something else? Right on their webpage, and this will all be in the show notes, they actually have a chart that compares it, NetTALK to Vonage to Ooma to Magic Jack to the phone company to Comcast Digital Voice. So the closest competitor in my mind is the Magic Jack, and really where it has more superior features for this actually less money is the following. There's no computer required for the NetTALK because it's wireless. The Magic Jack, at least according to this chart, does require a computer. The next place is they have live support. Magic Jack, you pretty much get zero support. This is versatile enough to work with the computer or a router. Magic Jack won't do that. Call forwarding is not available on Magic Jack. According to this, call forwarding is actually included. The other difference is this is fax friendly. Don't try to fax using Magic Jack. It won't work. I can guarantee you that. This says it's fax friendly, although I haven't tested it. And this has video phone, which means I can actually see someone, a Skype-like interface, and use the video phone. That is a cool feature, and that's all for 50 bucks. If you find it on sale for 29, and I'll Google that and see if I could put that in the show notes, that's a good deal. Now, let's get into how it works. The first thing I'm going to tell you is that it comes with this very small, let's get a camera 2 shot of this very small piece of paper. This is your instruction book. Folks, let me tell you, I did not read this instruction book, and I packed this device up and came here today to the studio and figured that I'm the Gadget Professor. This is going to be a no-brainer. I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to have a piece of software. It's going to put the drivers in. I'm going to hook the phone up, and does it, bingo, I'm done. That was not the case. I did not read the instruction book. Shame on me, but I figured how much instructions could be on here. Well, I only looked at I looked at this side, which told me pretty much everything I had surmised anyway. And I immediately dug in and installed it, and it immediately did not work. And I tried it again and again. 25 minutes later, I'm like, what the hell? I can't cancel the Gadget Professor today. So I called tech support, and it's 2:15 here in Arizona. They're closed. So I was a little annoyed and frustrated, and fortunately for me, I have Wildman Mike, who came in and said, what did you screw up now? And he turned over to the sheet that I didn't read, and essentially, because I didn't follow the instructions, I installed the drivers incorrectly, and he was able to unstrip them because I was working on something else. And long story short, Mike got it to go. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate that. And folks, this device does work, and I'm going to show you in a second that it does work, but I will tell you this. Read the instructions and follow it step by step. It will take you 3 minutes. Do not do what I do. Assume that you know everything. Not everything, but assume that you knew how to work the device when really it hooks up a little bit differently than the other devices. So once that was figured out, everything worked beautifully. So I will take my cell phone, and what I'm going to do now is I got 2 voicemails, but I'm not going to read those now. I'm going to go into my phone, and I am going to call. If we go on camera 2, I'm going to dial this right now, and we will see this phone right here will actually ring, we hope, and light up. And let's get to that number right now. We will go to recent calls because I called it before the show. And right now, I just click dial, and it's coming up, and it is dialing. There we go. So you can see my little red light flashing here, and you can certainly hear it ringing. And if I pick up, hello? Is the Gadget Professor there? Yes, I'm here. So as you can see, it does work quite well. And for 49 bucks, you're gonna be hard pressed to beat that at 49 bucks. At 29 bucks, it's just a no-brainer. And the beauty about the device is, as I said, to hook it up is quite simple. This cord goes into the phone that I just showed you, the base of the phone. If you don't want to bring the phone with you, you can actually use a headset and go right from your laptop, so you don't actually need the phone. This also has a device, a wire that hooks into the computer into a USB port, or you can charge this device up, okay, and hook this up wirelessly to the internet. So you really have a cool device here for literally $49. And with all the feature sets that it has, I think it's a great deal. The only thing that I found and it could be me, is that it didn't sound really loud. Although I didn't fool around with my phone to actually make it go louder, and there is a volume control on here. So that's probably me. But right now on the surface, if you can buy this for 49 bucks, which you can, and there's 2 places I noticed that are selling it. One is Walmart for 49 bucks, and you know what? If you buy it at Walmart and you don't like it, you can bring it back to Walmart real easy. So I would probably recommend that. You also can go on Amazon and buy it for the same 49 bucks, but I think I would vote for Walmart again because you could return it. But again, I didn't see a sale anywhere for 29 bucks this week. but they do have them on sale. Before I put the show notes out tonight, I will check again to see if I find a link anywhere where this is on sale for less than $49. But not to repeat myself, it seems like a real good deal. It's very small. You can just pop it in your pocket. It has a green light to show that it's working. If it's on a red light, then something is wrong. They do have tech support. The only problem I ran into, and it was totally my fault, is I didn't read the instructions and I downloaded something before I should have downloaded something else, and that was my fault. And once we solved that, this thing worked flawlessly. I do recommend it at this point in time, and I hope you like the Gadget. And we will see everyone next Thursday on the Gadget Professor Show. Have a great week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
The Gadget Professor is produced by Don Bain, Multimedia Communications, LLC. If you would like your product reviewed on The Gadget Professor or would like to appear on The Gadget Professor, contact us via email at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. The opinions expressed on the program by the host, guests, call-in listeners, or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. And thank you for watching The Gadget Professor.